All right, folks. Well, we finally got our fuel pump in from Holly and got our charge wire, and I think we've got our charging problem fixed mostly. So let me start off. We got the Holly pump this last week. We got the 340 Walbro liter per hour fuel pump installed. Went great. Cleaned up a lot of the fuel lines and wiring. Got that done. And then I installed per PowerMaster and per you guys what you said. I think it was 70 Charger or 70 GTX on here on the comments. You gave me the table to use for PowerMaster. Thank you very much, sir. I am learning a lot about charging systems and electrical systems. Again, I wish I'd done this YouTube channel a long time ago because I'm learning a lot from my viewers in the comments. So thank you very much. So let me start now going to the charging issue. I've got the 4-gauge wire per PowerMaster, 7 feet, called out for 4-gauge. Probably could have gone bigger. Now that when I got this, I'm thinking, yeah, probably could have gone with something bigger than this. But hindsight's 2020. I may still go with something bigger. So I changed that out, and just to preface that, to let you guys know, before I had one charge. This was the main charging wire going to the battery from the alternator, directly from the stud, from the one wire PowerMaster 160 alternator to my Optima battery. And I had another charging wire coming off the output stud that went to my bus, my junction block for my positive for the circuits I run the fans on and the MSD on. And I just want to make sure that always had 13 volts. So it's kind of Mickey Mouse, I would say, the way I had it before. So yesterday, I removed this and I installed the new. Now, guys, I'm not done routing wires, and this wire is way too long. I just need to buy a new fitting to go on here, so that's why you see that the way it is. This is going to all get corrected. Right now, I'm just trying to solve the charging issue. So, PowerMaster 160 alternator, it's always had an issue to me that you fire it up and you have to sit there and goose the thing or sit there and rev it a few times to try to excite the alternator to start charging. Well, yesterday we fired it up with the new size, the bigger gauge wire, the 4-gauge wire. It goes directly to the battery, and I removed this. This was completely removed from the output stud. I was thinking, you know what? I may be bleeding amps off to go to this, but still, it's all going to the same place to power everything. Immediately fired up, I goosed it one time, and it jumped to 14.5 volts at idle. That's the highest it's ever been at idle. I was extremely pleased. Still am. Extremely pleased. Turned the headlights on, my brights on the hideaways, and it would come back down to like 11.9, and if I would just give it a little bit of gas, it would jump up to like 13.7. The car idles at 900 RPM right now, give or take, with the sniper and the tachometer. Now, I thought today I'm going to try to add a little bit to this. So I went ahead and added the old wire that went back to the fuse, coming off the battery, off the positive side of the battery here, going to my junction block that fires off my fans and the MSD. And I think maybe my ignition system for the dual sync. Can't remember. Anywho, started it today, and I had to rev it probably 3 or 4 times before it finally started charging. And it went up to 14.5 volts. I mean, it charges so much better. I'm getting more juice out of it now. So big learning curve here. Thank you, everybody. However, now I have the question. I'm going to be getting an AC compressor putting on this. We're going to put the AC system on. Get rid of this Mickey Mouse, ugly, stupid stuff I'd put on when I first built the car. That's getting out of here. But I want to ask you guys something. This is a Chrysler style alternator, but it's by PowerMaster. And I went to PowerMaster's site, and sure enough, it tells you may have to rev it up to 2,000 RPM to get it to start charging. Okay? Well, I can, like I said, I'm going to get the car warmed up here in a moment, and I'm going to get it where it's ready for the fans to come on. And I want you guys to see, if I take it up maybe 150 RPMs, then it'll start, even with the fans going, it's up to like 13.5, charging like a champ. It's only lacking maybe a couple hundred RPM. Being a stick car, I can probably, set it at a red light and give it a little bit of gas. It's going to be fine. Now, I don't know with the AC compressor, but I want to ask you guys a question. I see a lot of Mopar guys running a Denso style alternator, and I see that Summit has one. It's a 165 amp. But is that because the Denso has a better low RPM charging attribute than the older style Chrysler? Is that why I see you guys running a lot of that? And number two, do you suggest that? That's what I know from you guys. So I'm about to start the car up. Being a big block, these things take forever to warm up. And I also want to remind everybody, this car does not have cooling issues. We were in 100+ degree weather at the Muldrow Cruise, and sitting in traffic, it goes up to, I think the fans kick on at 192 or 193, and then it goes all the way down to 185. No worries at all. And it cools so good. I want to tell you guys, now that I have the 5-speed in it, it has 373 gears. Literally, certain times of the year, if I'm in overdrive and I'm doing, say, 60, 65, I go in overdrive about 60, 65, and it cools so well that it starts dropping down to like 170, 168, 165. That's in the fall and spring weather. It gets down close where my sniper it's getting close to the 160. I know how to resolve that, put the 180 thermostat in. But I'm just telling you that, giving you that, because it really cools well, and that's a good problem to have. So I'm very happy with that. But let me get this thing warmed up, and I want to show you what it does. Okay, everybody. Now I've got it close where it's close to being warm. Fans came on just a moment ago. So I'm going to fire this thing up. We're going to let it get up to temp, have the fans come on. I want to show you what it does. My headlights on bright, it still has 13.8 volts up to 14. But again, you have to excite this damn alternator by goosing it. I guess maybe that's common on these. So let's see what happens. Okay, see right there? Immediately, fired up, it does that. I haven't goosed it or anything. It'll stay like that unless I... Okay, so just give it gas. If I give it a little bit of gas, I mean, I'm just barely touching the... See, it's not... My foot's off the gas. It's at 13. 5 goes up to 14. If I goose it... I mean, is that the normal thing with these alternators, that you have to goose them every now and then to excite them? Now I'm going to turn the headlights on again. They're all bright, so all 4 headlights are on right now. Let's give it a little bit of gas. See, I mean, I just didn't even... You can tell there's my TPS right there. I mean, not even... Yeah, so you can see my throttle position. I just give it a little bit of gas. See? All right, I'm going to turn my headlights off. Headlights are off. I'm about 900 average, and I'm looking at my tachometer over here, and it's actually a well-built tach. It's like at 900 RPM. So on that sniper, if you average, it's probably 190. These 2 fans will kick on about 193, I think. So watch what it does when the fans kick in. resisting sensor at 2 to 3% on the Sniper. Look, I've got 14 volts with both fans running. So, you tell me. Now they went off. So, again, you guys tell me, is this common, what we need to do on a PowerMaster alternator? Again, when I get the sand and compressor on there, I don't know how many amps those pull, but is it better behooving me to go to the PowerMaster, the Denso style alternator? I see a lot of you Mopar guys are running that. I'm very happy that my charging system has vastly improved because of a simple wire size from the alternator. So I learned a great deal, and I also learned I probably should have stepped it up just maybe a little bit more. I don't think it would have changed anything because I've also added some more wire, coming back from the battery over and from the alternator over to where that junction block is. But I don't know. I am learning a lot from you guys on this thing, on the charging systems. When we get ready to do the Barracuda, it's going to have a custom wiring harness. So, it's a Gen 3 Hemi, and, it's got, I think, a 230 amp alternator. So, is a 160 amp alternator, you think, enough? I know I need to look up the amps, what the draw is on those two fans and the pump. I know that's how you kind of add it all up. That's most people do that know what the hell they're doing. It's what I should have done when I built this car. So, with that being said, major changes. My awning, they got to come in and put a new ramp in so we can pull our cars in and out. So I would be driving this thing right now if I could get it out of the shop, but they're going to have that fixed this week. So I'll be test driving this thing with the new pump here pretty soon. I'm really excited. Will I see a performance difference? Again, unless I was at a track, I wouldn't know, right? And probably at the top of fourth gear, it's probably when you notice the size of the change in the pump. I need to put a fuel pressure gauge in it. I think I'm going to put I do have a fuel pressure gauge, but I think I'm going to go ahead and mount one internally to the car where it's subtly out of place, but I'd like to see what it's doing going down the road. So, vast improvements. I will say, at the end of the day, I am very, very happy with the improvements of basically something so simple that I do think it made a difference. So, thank you, everybody. Let me know in the comments what you think. Did I do the right thing? Do I need to go to the Denso style alternator? You let me know. Thanks, everybody.